What's up, everybody? I figured I'd come on just a hair early and just see what's going on, guys. Just see what's going on. Anybody in here? Let's look. What's up? What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Everything sounding okay? Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that. That's pretty cool. It's kind of laggy, huh? Lagging a little bit. Don't you go in the grocery store, Lori? We ain't got time for grocery stores. I mean, I'm just saying, little Buffalo Trace don't hurt nobody. All right, all right. So how's everybody doing, man? Everybody good? How's your week going? Just waiting on this bad boy right there. Just waiting on it, guys. Oh, this is really cool. I didn't know I could do this stuff. Oh, look at there. Will it do it? Oh, it does it. I got the cat. I got the cat. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Just checking out a few things I got, guys. Just checking out a few things. See if I can zoom in right here. Oh, this is awesome. How long we got? 10 minutes? What y'all want to talk about? Oh, what do y'all want to talk about? Oh, I don't know. William, I don't really know what this AMA is about, to tell you the truth. It's talking about Ecomi, and I'm assuming OMI, and I don't know. I really don't know. What's y'all's guess? I hope everybody got the drink made and ready. Oh man, I forgot my vape. Oh, hang on. Be right back. Where's my vape? Oh, here it is. Okay, we good. We good now, guys. We good. Aluthium is freaking rolling, Lori. Aluthium is rolling. I have got a pretty good bag, which I know your bag's bigger, Lori. Yes, sir. Come on with it. Let's see if I can do this. No, that won't work. Like a foam mirror? Oh. Foam web? Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna be entering this AMA, and I have no idea what they're gonna be talking about. I really don't know. I mean, what is there to talk about with Ecomi? I mean, the wallet. I mean, that's the only thing I think about is maybe they're gonna break some news out with the wallet and the in-game wallet, and I hope they make, which I think they are, but I hope they make an external wallet. I love keeping my wallet safe with me, guys. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like Trust Wallet and stuff like that. As soon as I got the Ecomi wallet, I got rid of Trust Wallet. Oh, I bought the dip. Dude, I'm broke. I'm eating bologna sandwiches. I'm frying up Vienna sausages. So I can't buy no more. I had to buy rims for the cars. I know. I'm putting pleasure before finances, but I had to buy some rims for the car. I bought Dark Star. I know they're the budget rims. I didn't buy a weld, but I mean, hell, I got rims. I got 2 skinnies, 2 15 by 10 in the back, 2 skinny tires, everything for like right at $1,400 for that. That could have been 14 in OMI, but I got to play a little bit, guys. Like, it's just eating me away. I got to play a little bit. Is it started up yet? Do I got to refresh this or what? I don't know. Let's see. Am I lagging, y'all? Because it looks like I'm lagging on my end. Let me close some stuff out. See what happens here. And definitely going to close this bad boy out. If y'all wonder what I'm doing, I'm closing everything. No lag for you? It's like I'm looking at my screen and I'm lagging. Okay, that's good. As long as it ain't lagging on y'all's end. It might lag a little bit right now. I got to save like 4 videos in Premiere Pro. I keep it open. Like, I really need to upgrade my computer, but I keep buying OMI and car parts. Yeah, that's how it is. I know Taps, but he's got a badass computer, don't he, Lori? Like, Taps has got a really good computer, and he keeps like a lot of tabs open. Like, I can't do that. Not if I'm live streaming, and I'm using like StreamYards to live stream. But I'm trying to get away from that because, I mean, good God, it's $59 a month. And how many times do I live stream, guys? Like, when do I have time to live stream? I never live stream. But I've been talking to Kyle Wilson about how to do it without StreamYards. So I'm going to work on that. Energy, buy it, bro. Buy up the dip. Like, seriously, if I had the cash, I would have definitely bought today. Because what did it hit? Like 0063, 64, 63. Like, man, look, my average. No, I'm not financial advice, of course. Let me make sure I put this out there for all the YouTube people. I do this for fun. Okay. So, but yeah, my average is 0057. I'll tell you straight up. 0057. Oh, we in there. So okay. Make sure.
Once again, be sure to share the space. And today's episode, once again, is sponsored by G Media. The absolute
all right,
best.
14. Now it seems like you.
Hold on. The absolute best media
All right, guys,
company in this space, undeniable, undisputed.
All right, good. Now, let's get some real music going.
I mean, real music. Real music to you just means real music to me.
Can y'all hear it? It's about to break 800, Lori. It's going to break 800, then it's going to go to 900. What the hell they playing? Oh.
Hey, Black, Jess is laughing at you.
I just got copyrighted. I'm gonna have to keep talking while this is playing, or I'll get copyrighted. You have to keep talking. Yeah.
Get your DeLoreans out, baby, because we're going back in time with the VeVe folks tonight. Ecomi world, baby.
Yeah, Black, your age is clearly showing here. You're probably above 60.
Okay, there we go. I bet you I got copyrighted on that, guys. See if I can do this. Let's see this. Oh. I got to really. I need to work on that.
Love.
Copyrighted. Talk to me, baby. Give me that copyright. No. Crazy. Dude, if y'all can hear me, like seriously, I'm working on my live stream where you can see chat and everything. Just give me some more time. I got to get up with Kyle Wilson, and he's gonna help me out. He better help me out. I guess I could mute it. I don't know how. How do you mute? I don't know how to mute it. Okay. I muted that. Good God, I'm gonna get copyrighted like hell.
As you guys can clearly tell, my friend, also part owner of OMI, but he's not.
Yeah,
he's completely in his element.
I'm working
right now.
on my live stream,
you're having a good time. The music isn't the greatest. I'm gonna have like
the chat in one corner, pretty much like the gamers do, but not with all that fancy stuff.
What were you saying? You said the greatest time for old people.
You're having probably. I mean, you're in your element right now, which I definitely support and appreciate.
But yeah, man.
So keep going, man. I'm happy you're enjoying your.
What if they give us some more information about Mutable X? Like, we know
he's just making fun of me, everybody, but that's okay because
I'm just being sincere. He just takes
unless
the
there's
wrong
some
way
kind of
sometimes.
setbacks.
Hey, Marvin, it's your cousin. I got something that you listen to. Ready?
Well, I got like 2 minutes left. This is only me. I'm doing this, and I suck at flipping. I'm gonna just tell you straight up, I suck at flipping. But I sold a lot of my NFTs.
With the social music tonight, might definitely better. We are sponsored by
I feel
Media,
like when MTL comes, the market's going to get flooded. It's going to cause the price of all the NFTs to go down.
NFTs in the space.
So when it dips down, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do like David said, like buy only what you like, and I'm going to go back in there and buy what I like. But I did keep all the.
If you guys want me to change the music,
think about it, guys.
Politely send me a DM.
What is going to OpenSea first? What's going to get the major spike? I mean, what? Ritmo, Todd, Rizzo, all those, of course. Yeah, we know that, right? But the Labbits,
and for those
Mondo pictures,
we would do a community
English, all his
session
stuff,
at the end where you guys have the ability to ask questions.
First,
but up until that point, please be patient. Please bear with us, and we will bring you guys up at the end of the space.
I got a lot of
thank you in advance.
I got faith in the Labbits. Like seriously, if I make
please and
cash
thank
on
you,
the
as
Labbits,
Forte would always say.
I mean, the please comes out sometimes, not always.
So we got 1 minute, guys.
Well, that's you know what though? I mean, any way you put it, it has been a great honor of my lifetime to find the VV community. I'm going to tell you guys that straight foremost, because you guys, the fans, have brought OMI, VV to the forefront. I mean, look, these guys, there was no marketing. There was no big strategy in terms of like paying people and putting up billboards. It's all organic. It was entirely organic how I came to find out about Ecomi and the VV world. And I am so excited to have the COO with us tonight, and members of the team. There's going to be a few guests that we're going to bring up. Obviously, this is being brought to you by Gockstein Media, and luckily, our CEO, founder, David Gockstein, he's in the audience. David, I want to bring you up just to say a few words real quick and just welcome the folks to our community, and because it's huge.
For those that know David, he gets really bashful sometimes. He doesn't like the spotlight all the time. Let's see if you can bring him up, though, Black.
I'm trying.
Hey, Black, can I get the mic before we start losing viewers and fans again?
Go ahead, bro.
I love you, man. Guys, once again, please share the space. Please share this space. We will start in about 5-10 minutes. Oh, here's DG, man. I'll lower the music. What up, DG?
Play the music. Play the music.
See, he loved it.
I mean, he likes my music, not necessarily yours, but
no. I like both, but like
there you go.
I'll go with the with the NFL theme.
Yes, sir.
Because more copyright. Oh hell, guys.
Yo, listen, I'm hyped because like I'm in OMI.
The sound okay for y'all?
Let's go. That's all I gotta say, and I like all the NFTs and shit. So let's get this popping.
Disclaimer: nothing, I myself or any team.
I wish they paid me for this. How about that? Put it that way. I wish. They ain't paying nobody for nothing.
Guys, disclaimer, nothing myself, Akil, Dave, or any other speakers say tonight is financial advice. Whatever you do with your money is entirely up to you. Win or loss, that is all yours, man. So do not take this, personally. Nothing is financial advice. Let's have some fun with it, though. We will start in about 5 minutes. Once again, I'm literally a broken record at this point. Please share the space. Thank you in advance.
Hey, Andrew, you got to do one thing, though. You got to go up. Andrew, you got to do one thing. You got to put up plus 68 hours going strong that somebody from the OMI.
Can you do it? I give you control.
I don't know how to do these things.
Wow,
Come on, man. I barely know.
Guys, listen to this. Rookie right here.
I got it.
There we go. We're learning every day, baby. Every day we're learning, man.
Shut your pie hole.
We all started somewhere, guys. We all started somewhere.
There we go.
How are we, team? Just gonna get this.
There.
Let me bring Akeem up here right quick.
I'm gonna go back to listener mode. I just want to say thank you very much. The team from OMI coming here tonight, speaking with the boys from G Media. Have a good time. I'm gonna sit back and listen.
Thank you,
DJ. What up, Akeem?
You know what? Why do you call me up here?
What's up,
I don't want to be like P. Diddy, bro. Like all up in the videos and shit. I'm going back down, man.
I brought you up because you're the GOAT, you son of a biscuit.
This guy call him a biscuit. You know what? We're PG-13 tonight. That's fine.
That's because OMI and Ecomi is family focused, man. It's family focused.
That we are. All right. Now, David, you does send his regards too for anyone who's in here at the moment. He may join us in an hour when he makes it out of a meeting, but otherwise, I'll get the end of myself in the meantime.
Andrew,
What up?
Andrew,
What up?
It's 5:03. I think these gentlemen,
I'm waiting for Reese and Tops if they can request. I don't see them down here. Hold on, I see Tops. I'm gonna request Tops. I'm gonna request Randy as well. I don't see Reese.
I'm already on the stage. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, our guys are here.
Otherwise, I'm talking to myself over here. So I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't want to feel bad. Listen, hey, if it makes you feel any better, when I watch, I do watch a little bit of rugby from time to time, and so when I have to watch overseas, it's like I have to watch at 2 a.m. So I understand your pain.
That's it. I had to move country.
What's going on, Randy?
To get the drops in.
Tops,
thanks for having me.
Hey everyone. I just want to say, guys, on behalf of G Media, we appreciate you guys setting this up and helping this and making this possible, as well as all the OMI community for giving as much love as we got today. That was absolutely awesome. Without further ado, I will start us off. I'm your host, Andrew Forte, with my co-host, Akil Patterson, and my other speaker, Akeem Hunt. We have the OMI crew here today. We have Randy, Reese, and Taps in DC. I'm part of the speaker crew on behalf of OMI. Everything we say tonight, it's not financial advice, as said prior to. Invest what you will or don't invest what you will. It's completely your choice, and we are not responsible for anything that does or does not happen. How's everybody doing tonight, speakers included?
Really well.
Doing great, thanks. Bought more OMI. Woo! The family's getting bigger.
Alex is in the crowd too. I'm not sure if he wants to come up for a chat, but if you see him requesting, that may be worthwhile. But otherwise, thanks for putting this on, team. It's a great opportunity.
That's awesome. Black, how you doing, man? I know you're excited tonight. Let the people know how excited you are for this.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Listen, they already know I'm the biggest fanboy. Okay, first off, number one. Number two, I have been living OMI for like at least the last 8 months. Andrew and actually David had yelled at me at one point, going, "Fine, I'll buy some more OMI." And then I said, "Well, that wasn't the point of me talking about OMI, but that was great." And then I just kept talking about it. And pretty soon the whole team is like, "Yo, we've got to have an AMA to shut your ass up." So they did it. We're here with the AMA now. So this is great. So I want to start with my first question, guys. How did Vivi and OMI come to be? Like, what was the starting point for this project? Just in the vision.
Yeah, sure. Let me dive into that one. And thanks again for organizing this guys. Really appreciate it, and it's good to see so many of the OMI homies and the VV crew up on stage here as well. So I think it was like 4 years ago, or I can't even remember how many years ago. I mean, in crypto years, it's been about 100 years. But yeah, David and I were looking into opportunities in the blockchain space. And one of our first products back then was the Ecomi secure wallet, which is still on sale today. And then I think it was CryptoKitties was the first one that came out, and that was causing a huge kind of buzz and hype. And it was around that time that we sort of realized that with David's connections in the world of licensing and my background in tech, that we might be able to create something that was very new and very disruptive for the collectible space. And just for those of you who don't know, David, the CEO, has been in the collectible industry for 25 odd years, and is what we affectionately call a level 9,000 collector. For any of you Dragon Ball, you'll get the reference. But basically, he will collect everything and anything. And when he is in some form of collection fair, he's like a small child running around wanting to buy anything. So there's definitely a pedigree of collectability, and really has been the core emphasis of the product. Even though we touch a lot of technologies from crypto to blockchain to Unity, ultimately at the core, VeVe has been created for collectives. And I think that's why it's really struck a chord with quite a few people out there. So that's the TLDR version.
That's awesome. Before we kind of dive in a little bit further, can you guys politely tell the audience what you guys do within OMI, how you guys support the community, and what your position is? If you guys wouldn't mind, please and thank you.
Sure, yep, I'll kick off. So my name is Dan. I'm the co-founder and COO at VeVe, and I basically just firefights all day is probably a good description of what I do.
I'll second that. Dan is definitely the firefighter here. My name is Reese. For anyone who does not know me, I am the communications manager for Ecomi and VeVe. And I spend all day talking to you guys, just about. But other than that, I still help out, across the community, all our socials, product support for the secure wallet, some technical OMI support on the occasion as well, and I produce all of the Ecomi information and articles, and some of the stuff on the VeVe side as well. So that's me. I'm not sure if Noah or Alex are up here, but they are in the crowd, and Noah and Alex manage all of our all the VeVe side of things, really, the VeVe community, the Discord, all of our marketing, when marketing, Alex, just in case you're listening, and all of those articles as well. So I'm sure they may join us on the stage later. And anyone who doesn't know Trevor as well, he is our lead digital production manager. I don't think he'll be joining us today, but if you see him around, that is his primary role to get our content together. I think that covers most of us.
That's awesome. Can you guys kind of briefly touch upon what NFTs are for those that are maybe new to the space?
Yeah, sure. Dan, did you want to maybe take that in?
I was just going to say, Reese, I'm sure you're more than capable of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I can give the NFT elevator pitch. From a technical standpoint, a non-fungible token, as most people probably know by now, is one that is unique. It cannot be divisible like you would Bitcoin or ETH or the US dollar. And those tokens are used to represent a digital asset or file. So in the case of VeVe, those NFTs or non-fungible tokens are linked to a specific collectible and edition number. And that enables really seamless trade of these assets across the world in seconds, thanks to the power of blockchain technology. So that is how we primarily use NFTs. There are a lot of other functions of this technology, whether it goes into music or other fields. But for now, that's probably the quickest pitch there. Anything to add, Dan?
That's awesome. Thanks, Reese. Many people are aware of this. There are many growing platforms, many types of NFTs, some physical and some digital. But what does OMI and VeVe really provide to the table in terms of authenticity? Could you say?
I'd say my perspective on that is that number one, we really are at the beginning of a of a brand new digital asset space. And, with the, obviously crypto's been around for a while, but with the advent of NFTs, which are, I guess you could argue that they're more enjoyable because they're often, works of art. They have become, very, very popular. Sorry, I just got an email there. So yeah, I'm gonna move away from my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, I mean, I think it's, from the VeVe perspective, like I mentioned earlier, for us, it really very much is around collecting. And, most of the things that people collect are brands or artists that they identify with. And, that's really always been our sort of unique selling proposition, if you will. That we really wanted to corner two kind of main areas. Number one was brands and artists. And then the second was the actual experience, because collecting itself can go way beyond just, owning an NFT and then putting it into a wallet. For us, it was very important to provide a much wider experience in the ecosystem that we develop.
Yeah, I might just add to that. I think one of the best descriptions I've seen of NFTs or their impact is that, NFTs are really the tokenization of culture. We're seeing, whether like digitization of fashion, we're seeing the digitization of music and collectibles and artworks and all of those things. So for us, it's probably more specifically pop culture, but the industry in general is really seeing that digitization wave come through, which I find really interesting. There's some really incredible companies entering this space. I'm sure many of you have probably seen Artifact, for example, doing some digital fashion in the metaverse and projects like that. So yeah, I just find this industry so exciting. It really excels every week, and there seems to be new ideas and new technologies coming out to enable them every week. So that's the description I've heard. I think that was a Tom Bilyeu or a Gary V description, perhaps, but yeah, I think that's a good way.
Reese, you paraphrased it better than he said it. I just want to say, Jeremy, thank you for coming up here, man. We appreciate you. Nice to see a familiar face.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
My man, Jeremy, just like drop day, I got dropped off in the middle of nowhere and I had to leave and come back, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah, just like drop day, I apparently missed an update. So thank you, Twitters.
Yeah, man. Shout out Jack Dorsey if you're listening to this, and I know you are, because Goxy Media is probably one of the best media companies in blockchain technology. So hi from the rest of us that you're listening to. Black, do you have any questions? I know you fell off in the middle of nowhere, but we just kind of introed into what gives an OMI authenticity.
So yeah, I've got 1,001 questions, but I want to make sure that I help the newbie that's in the room, because we've got over 1,000 people right now. What makes the VeVe app and the Ecomi token so unique than all the other cryptocurrencies that are currently on the market?
I would say that, with the VeVe app, number one is the onboarding. We wanted to make sure that, because we are focusing on collectors, not necessarily crypto enthusiasts, that the onboarding was very easy. Everything can be purchased with an in-app payment in USD or whatever your local currency is. And you don't have to go through and set up all your wallets and all of that kind of thing that people would normally have to do in the crypto space. So that was one of our main sort of objectives to kick things off.
And then with that kind of objective, how are you able to really get people to buy into the vision of OMI and how it will be used in the practical sense moving forward? Because I know you've got visions for a metaverse. So maybe talk a little bit about what a metaverse is, number one, and then how the OMI token will be used inside of that metaverse.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously for anyone who's been in the community for a long time knows that OMI has been around for, gosh, what is it, three odd years now. And where it was fairly dormant for a while we were building out the product. And within the VeVe app, we will soon be adding in a lot more utility for the OMI token. Obviously, this was something that we planned to do much earlier on, but the year ended up being significantly more crazy than we had ever anticipated. So, and I think the other thing to, that I always like to touch on is that, VeVe, the product itself has 1 foot in the blockchain world and one foot in what I call the real world. And because of that, we're able to onboard licensors and partners like Marvel, and Star Trek, and all these other brands. And then on the other side, we can start to build in the crypto side. So really the idea is to have the ability for our fans to, if they're in the crypto space, then they can purchase some OMI and then use OMI within the app. And some of the features we have coming up are things like OMI to NFT, or using OMI to purchase accessories, or once the VeVeVerse comes out, you will have the ability to use your OMI to purchase land. So it's been a little bit of a blessing and a curse that it has taken a while for us to get to this point of utility. The curse side of it is obviously, all the haters out there, but we do have a longer term vision. And the blessing side of it is that, we've really been able to take stock of how users are using VeVe, and, really, especially with Reese's help, is to reach out to the community and get a good understanding of what kind of features that they would want to see when it comes to the OMI utility. So that was the first part. Now, just to touch on the metaverse. So from our perspective, the metaverse is some form of open world that can have a multitude of users in that world, and they can interact with each other in whatever features or functionality that metaverse has. And I really believe that we're probably on the precipice of seeing a significantly more, metaverses coming into existence. Obviously, it's been a buzzword for, the past few months now. And, for us, the VeVeVerse, we kicked off last year. And again, really wanted to have something out by now, but obviously we've been fairly busy on the crazy, insane growth. So for the VeVeVerse, really, from our perspective, it needs to come again from a point of collectability. And, a lot of a really big emphasis in the world of collectibles is being social. You get that cool collectible, you want to show it off, you want others to see it, you want the glory for getting that ultra rare on the drop or the secret rare. So the idea really is to expand upon what we have in the app right now. And for those of you users that don't know, each VeVe user can create a virtual showroom within their account, and within that they can then place all of their collectibles and set it up in the way that they want. So the first iteration of the VeVeVerse will be a huge expansion onto those showrooms that will give much greater customization. And for me personally, I really think that one day all of us will have some form of little 3D world that is very much personalized to us, in the same way that, my Facebook page or my Instagram page is personalized to me. And then we can obviously have, a lot of people meet up in those worlds. So, and then outside of that, that sort of virtual space that each person has, we want to create a whole lot of other just really cool features and extensions of the app that we have now that would be that will work really well in multiplayer environments. And then lastly, to create virtual spaces or virtual worlds within the VeVeVerse for the brands and licensors and artists that we work with. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No, you're just fine. And there was I want to piggyback this question, and I'll let somebody else ask one after that. And it's not actually for you, Dan. It's for Jeremy. So Jeremy, you are a brand guru. You are like the GOAT. Like, you brought Pokemon to life here in the United States. Jeremy, are one of your brands partnered with VeVe?
Well, let's put it this way. I don't know if I can answer anything that's a forward-looking statement on behalf of my organization, because we are tied into a publicly traded company, or really on behalf of anything that is happening at VeVe. I will say this. Where I have excelled in the past is in developing companies around big brands and licenses. And currently we're the global partner for Pokemon, Fortnite, Roblox, Cocomelon. We own Squishmallows, which is one of the biggest plush brands in the world, actually #1 now. And I've worked on massive number of big kids and collector brands. What I have seen from VeVe, what I have seen from the team there, is the most sophisticated approach and the earliest approach, both to the licensing universe and to the concept of building a company around third-party licenses. Will there be more crossover with brands that I am involved with? I wouldn't be shocked, but I certainly am not the one that could make those types of announcements. Is that fair to say, Dan?
No comment. I think that's fair.
So just for everybody in the crowd, that's your Pokemon answer. So stop DMing me about when Pokemon. Shit, damn it. That's your answer.
That's the answer to everything. I mean, look, here's the reality is that I will, it's clear to me that in any marketplace that you walk into, you can assess who the leader is, who's signing the big licenses, who's driving the significant business. And markets often start out more monopolistic than fragmented because somebody got to jump. And then over the course of time, the market gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's impossible to sustain with one company. But by the time it fully matures, you've got massive entities. That happened in toys over a long, long period of time. I'm thrilled that we're part of that mix. In the NFT and the digital space, I don't think I've ever seen a company execute early with big organizations as effectively as VeVe and as effectively as Ecomi. Like, they are so far ahead of the general trend. And like I said, I've said this before, but 3 years ago, when David and Dan and Al came in and we discussed it, I had no clue. Like, it was so foreign to me, the concept of digital assets. And now it's just so clear, not just to me, but to everyone that spends any time understanding blockchain or understanding where we're going in terms of the virtual economy and virtual goods. And so the net of what I'm saying to you right now is I wouldn't be surprised anything that these guys pull off, because they actually have demonstrated success where a lot of other people are just barely dipping their toes in.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was really awesome. And shout out to the OMI crew for doing it the way it's supposed to be done. But my next question kind of piggybacks off of what Jeremy and Nikhil said prior to this. So one of my things, me personally, what caught my eye kind of in an investing kind of way was your licensing. You guys have gotten great licenses through different companies and whatnot. So how did you guys kind of gain those licenses, and what kind of licenses have you guys gained from certain companies? If you can mention what they are, we'd love it.
Basically, we sacrificed 10 years of our life by compressing it in 1 year. And I think we sacrificed a few chickens or something along the way as well.
There's definitely a chicken or two.
Yeah. I mean, it was really a very gradual process. This going back 3 or 4 years ago when we first approached the initial licensors, and obviously having somebody on the team like Al. And for those of you who don't know, we're referring to Alfred Khan, the man, the legend who basically brought Pokemon to the world as you know it. And he, because of his huge experience in the licensing world, he was able to connect us with, I guess I would say, connect us with people further up the chain than if we were just sort of going in and knocking on the door. And that was a bit of a blessing, because I sort of found that, you know, the more higher up people that we worked with in the licensing agencies, they, you know, these guys are really thinking, they're not thinking about what's out on the shelves now, because they were thinking about that 3 years ago. So they really were, I guess I won't say open in the beginning, but they were at least considerate of the idea that, you know, everything's going digital. They know that people spend a lot of money in the digital space. And I guess our proposition to them was, you know, they don't really need to do much in terms of work. They just need to give us a normal licensing deal like anything else. And then from there, David and I are very tenacious people, and we would fly back to the States or wherever the licensors were, you know, once every 2 or 3 months, and we'd give them an update, show them the progress on the app, let them know what other licensors have signed on. And, you know, really over a 2 or 3 year period, it just started to build and build. And you know, we started building up rapport with these guys, and they really started to see the vision that we had. And like I say, it was low risk for them. And I really do applaud all of the licensors who did come on with us early, because, you know, we were just nobodies from nowhere with an idea. And obviously, you know, those people who came on early on have also been blessed with the success of VEVE's growth so far.
That's awesome, Dan. My next question it's very similar to my last question. So when you guys initially started and gathering all the licenses, was there kind of a thought in process you guys were going to create AR and VR? Because correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I haven't seen too much AR and VR in the NFT space. So was that always kind of a vision of yours? Or was that more so just kind of something that just kind of happened after the licensing?
No, that was actually key from the very beginning, because, you know, for us, as I mentioned earlier, it was always about the experience. And, you know, you know, for David, who owns collectible, you know, retail chains around the world, every single day, you know, he's selling statues of Batman or Spider-Man, or, you know, your favorite characters. And so we know that there's a huge physical component to collecting. And with the lucky timing of, you know, AR basically becoming ubiquitous on devices, we really saw that as an opportunity to basically, you know, bring the digital into the physical world. And we always had an inkling that it might have some virality, you know, that if you could stand next to Batman or stand next to Harley Quinn, but it went obviously 10x more viral than we thought. So yeah, all of the features that are in the app now, from the feed to the market, the AR, the showrooms, basically all of those were there almost from day one.
Awesome, Dan.
All right, yeah, I've got to ask you guys a very serious question. So it's probably going to come from your communications director now, because I'm getting a lot of DMs about it. There's the when the buybacks, and one of the questions that actually came to me was there was supposed to be about they're estimated about $60 million in sales, and a percentage is supposed to be locked away. Is there plans in the next several months, next year or two, that there will be buybacks, or is that something that is still just in limbo because of the way the project's being rolled out?
A little bit of everything. So obviously, as I mentioned, this year has been just absolutely insane in terms of the growth, and we've had to focus a lot on really just, you know, keeping the engine going in the background. And number two is you know, obviously we're doing a big migration to immutable at the moment. So we've really allocated, set aside, you know, most of the tokenomics for post immutable. And then the other side of it is that, you know, we are, you know, as a business, we are also dealing with a lot of regulation. You know, as VEVE grows and gets more attention, we need to be very careful about how the company, you know, positions itself. And that means that, you know, there are lawyers, accountants, everyone who is looking at, you know, the craziness that's happened over the last 8 months and helping to advise us on how to move forward. So it's not really an issue of, you know, that we're just not doing it because of whatever. everything is really a step-by-step process in this business because it is such a new space.
Well, that satisfies me, but I don't know if it's going to satisfy the haters. I have a marketing question. I have a marketing question now for you guys. And one of the marketing question is, where was the marketing? Like, a lot of people come out firing on all four cylinders in this space with ads and promotions and billboards in the middle of Times Square, but you guys seem to have taken a much different approach to this. And, you know, maybe give us a little insight on why it's a little bit of a slower rollout.
I guess Ecomi and VeVe has always been a slow-growing beast. You know, like I mentioned earlier, we have 1 foot in the real world and 1 foot in the crypto world. So while 1 foot is trying to move at, you know, 1,000 miles per hour, as things have to do in crypto, the other foot is moving at a normal rate. Now, I would say probably what happened is that back in the early days in January, both myself and Reese and some other members of the team, we were doing a lot of AMAs in the crypto space just to help, raise awareness of the project. And then from there, we started to get a lot more. Obviously, our signups started increasing quite dramatically. And I really just think it had sort of some form of critical mass and just really started snowballing from there. Like I mentioned, one person would take a photo in AR with them standing next to Batman, and another person would be like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" And the app itself just started to get a lot of traction on its own. And, this wasn't, obviously we hoped the business was going to be successful. I remember even back last year, right before we launched in October, Dave and I were just, sitting around the table looking at the app thinking, oh man, I really hope someone, buys a Batman, Todd 100, because that was the first collectible we put out. And we did have plans to, roll out ads, to do all of that kind of stuff. We had companies lined up to, help us with the digital marketing and targeting specific users. But then we actually found that, the community, honestly, bless them, basically just stepped up and started doing videos and, starting groups. And, they really helped contribute to the, to the snowball effects that has turned VeVe into what it is to today. So from our perspective, we were sort of like, and even up till now, and I won't say that we don't do marketing now. We do a lot of marketing, but we don't really do much in the way of paid marketing. And for the reason being, even to this day, our drops are still selling out within seconds or less than a second. So there's not really much point for us to go out there now and start putting out paid promotion. Our community is so active, and there are always new users coming into the app every day. So yeah, basically the plan was there to start doing that, and we thought we would have to do that to help support the business growth in the first year. But like I say, we were very, very lucky and very blessed to have such a committed community.
Well, Dan,
guys,
sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just gonna say, there's a classic business school case that I remember. It was a Heinz ketchup case that explained how advertising can actually negatively impact an organization that's growing at a pace that's so rapid. And essentially, I will tell you all the time in toys, we will pull advertising if we're advertising to empty shelves. One of the worst things that you can do is try to build up a community when you're at maximum capacity or close to that. So it's actually, especially when you're in a situation where it's a land grab, I actually give these guys a lot of credit for holding back a little bit, because it is so tempting to go absolutely haywire. I think their growth strategy in the sense has been pretty masterful. And listen, when you have it coming in, it is very tempting to spend it. You're going to be advertising to empty shelves, or you're going to be advertising beyond the current scope of what your supply allows. it can be way more destructive than advertising.
And God
this
knows
is
we're
why
getting
I
at.
requested to have Jeremy up here, because Jeremy provides awesome insight into things that most people wouldn't actually think about. Jeremy, thanks again, man. We appreciate you coming.
My pleasure.
Dan, so my question is for you, Reese, and this question is coming out of left field. So I did my homework like I usually do. If you guys can kind of tell the people who Alfred Khan is. My apologies if I said his name wrong. And how he's not related to, maybe affiliated with OMI/VeVe.
Yep, absolutely. So basically, Al and David have known each other for a very long time. And for those of you who didn't catch it early on, that Alfred Khan, it's quite an interesting story, actually. I love the way he tells it. I'll never do it as well as he does it. But basically, when he was working for Nintendo, he was doing a lot of work over in Japan. And when he was there on one of his trips, he found this product in the shelves, and it was called Pocket Monster. And he absolutely loves the concept of it, and basically went to the owners and said, hey, I want to license this worldwide. And at the time, they were sort of like, well, we don't really think, communities outside Japan will really understand the game, et cetera, et cetera. But Al said, look, don't worry, just let me do it. And anyway, so he took the product, Pocket Monster, back to the US. And because it was a kid's product, obviously it couldn't keep the name Pocket Monster. So he decided to rebrand it to Pokemon, which is obviously, something that I would say 99% of people around the world know. Even to the point, he named all the characters, he commissioned a theme song, all the cartoons. And one of the other really interesting stories that he was telling me was that, when I grew up, and I think it's still the same today, there are kids' cartoons on very early in the morning, like, from 6 a.m. However, prior to Al, launching Pokemon, there were basically, he couldn't afford any slots, for TV. So, and the only slot that was available was like 6 a.m. And then, after a month or so of running these shows, he was getting calls from the broadcasting companies saying, Al, we can't believe it, but there are record numbers of children, watching TV at 6 a.m. So as a quick side note, Al was also responsible for kicking off this early morning, children TV watching phenomena that's kind of happened around the world. So after he created Pokemon, he was obviously looking for distributors around the world. And one of the very first people to distribute Pokemon cards was David Yu, the co-founder and CEO of VeVe. And it was through that meeting that David and Al obviously met and became good friends. And then from there, obviously, they just sort of stayed in touch right throughout their career. And then I believe David was at the Hong Kong Toy Show about 5 years ago, and he just randomly bumped into Al when he was there. They're both in the same game, so they were at the same event. And Al was just asking Dave what he was up to, and he was telling him a little bit about VeVe. And Al, Al, who's always been a very forward thinker. He's created so many brands and has had such a vision of, toys and products that he immediately recognized that there could be big potential in this concept as long as we could pull it off. So that and then from there on out, Al came on board, and the rest is history, really.
Thanks. Thank you so much for that one. And I wanted to actually circle back because you guys were talking about community, and luckily on this stage we have Randy Chavez. And Randy, I just want you just to take a few minutes. Number one, you're a veteran, and I thank you for your service for this country. But number two, just kind of like tell your story and your connection to not only like this app, but how you got here and how has OMI has drastically, and I mean drastically, changed your life personally and professionally.
Yeah, sure. So thanks guys for everybody speaking. I'll try not to take up too much time, but it was after I got out of the military in 2016, I went to school for 1 semester, didn't like it. I got a job at a private bank that did loans, and what I did was turned out I was really good at risk assessment and data analysis, seeing like, okay, well, this person has really bad credit, and okay, well, why do they have bad credit? They just go through a divorce? Do they not pay their bills? Whatever. And I was really good at getting to the bottom of it and saying, no, the banks are really leaving a lot of money on the table. And I would be like, I like this guy or gal, and we'd give them money, and we would get, it was high risk, so we could go up to like 22% interest rates, give or take, like those high risk credit cards. And sometimes they'd pay us back in like 3 months. It was ridiculous. So a year later, in 2018, I had appendicitis, and I didn't know it at the time. I thought I was just dying. And I finally go to the hospital, and they say, no, you have appendicitis. And I was like, okay, well, I thought I was dying. And the one thing I was thinking about was like, I never got to finish my Pokemon card collection. I never got to redo that. So as soon as I get out, or as soon as I wake up, I go on eBay and I buy a Pidgey first edition PSA 10, and that starts the whole thing. Re-engages me into collecting, and fast forward the clock a couple of years, I get into Tesla. The market goes down. I really start learning about crypto and Bitcoin and the blockchain. And my goal was to take all the Pokemon cards that I had, a couple of which I set record price points buying. And the goal was to sell those at a profit for Bitcoin, and sell some of my Tesla stock for Bitcoin as well. But that was in March, when I didn't know what Ecomi was yet. I was in this game called Earth 2, which I really enjoy. And I was looking for the crypto that Earth 2 was going to use. And it was supposed to be on the Go chain. It's not anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I'm looking for something that is really, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of tokens, and they're not a lot of money. I was like, oh, this OMI coin looks interesting. And Earth 2 Mastery did a couple of videos on it. I was like, oh, this is good too. And then going back on their Twitter, on Ecomi's Twitter, where they had, back in 2018, they had mentioned that their head of licensing was Alfred Khan. I was like, oh, it is over. I immediately changed my position, and I was just like, all right, what I thought was wrong. Bitcoin is not going to, well, it is. It obviously clearly is. The all-time highs today and yesterday. It was definitely good move, but it would not have gone up nearly as much as how undervalued this was. And nobody was talking about this, even in the Pokemon space, where I'm pretty well known in, and I know other people that are well known that are buying these high-end cards. And I was like, oh my God, if he's in on this, there's a pretty good chance, obviously no confirmation, that not only do they have Pokemon, but a bunch of other things. And again, even if they don't, they have so many amazing licenses like Marvel, DC, which we didn't know about Marvel at the time. I just imagined that. So I was thinking, okay, well, I have a little money now that I'm selling everything, and I could upgrade to a better apartment, and I could upgrade to whatever, but I didn't. I went on as like this, I'm going to cheat myself out of potentially millions of dollars for every million OMI that I don't get. And that is doing a disservice to my future self, to the future philanthropic goals that I have. And still to this day, I am in a 1-bedroom with no bed, no air conditioning, which is fine now because it's in October, because every single cent I'm putting into Ecomi products, more than 96 or 97% of my net worth.
That's true, guys.
Which is now $1 million, thankfully, to Ecomi and OMI. It dipped a little bit, so I think I just lost the status, but and I will continue doing this. I might even go back to work until so I can get more. And that's my story.
Thank you for the heartfelt story. The story. Sorry, I butchered that. The heartfelt story, Randy. Guys, once again, I got to reiterate: nothing we say up here is financial advice. What Randy did was best for him, and what he did may not be best for you. So take everything we say up here, including myself, especially myself, with a grain of salt. So my next question being to the team, I guess, Reese and Dan. I've asked Jeremy this question before when we had him on as well, because he's huge in the collecting space and whatnot. What was more so one of the kind of the challenges that you and your team faced throughout your journey with, your journey up to date with Ecomi? Because I feel like this space is very, very new. Nobody kind of understands it 100%. It's changing every day. So what was kind of one of your challenges that you faced, throughout the story, your journey rather?
Well, I guess I'll just jump in there and say that it's basically been one giant challenge. All of the challenges lumped together to one giant challenge. And yeah, I mean, it definitely hasn't been easy. I was watching a video of an entrepreneur the other day, and I thought he summed it up perfectly, which was that if you're an entrepreneur, you basically wake up and get punched in the face every day. And really that has been the majority of the journey. However, I think that really is just something that is prevalent in any fast growing, new business, especially one like VeVe that is quite disruptive. But in terms of an individual challenge, I guess it would be probably the community. Only in the beginning that, obviously it took us quite a few years to produce the product, and during that time, the company really had very little money. We did do a small raise back, like 4 years ago or something. And so during that time, we basically just had to be absolutely heads down, building the product, dealing with licensors, getting all of the legal framework set up. And because we knew that if we could get the product out, then we would potentially have some success. So during that time, dear Reese put up with so much. What's the word I should use, Reese?
Yeah, I don't know if profanity is the right
Yeah. So, however, during that time, we were obviously getting a lot of pressure from the community at that point, and that's of course absolutely understandable. We had raised some funds, and we were heads down building something out, but we knew that what we were building was, something that had potential, and so we were basically guns blazing to get it out. But yeah, outside that, I mean, to be honest, if you want to talk about challenges, I could literally go on for the next 3 hours. So I'll probably leave it there.
Dan, it's Jeremy. I was gonna say you're lucky you just got punched in the face. I mean,
well, I'm keeping it PG for the audience. Trust me, I get hit everywhere.
That's great. Yeah, I might just add to that. The early days of the community itself wasn't challenging, but keeping everybody interested was certainly challenging, because we really were building VeVe for 2 years before even I saw the first iteration of the app, let alone everybody else. And I specifically remember, the day that we removed the invite code for the earliest adopters. There was a bit of an invite code process. And at that point, the community had seen photos or a few screenshots of the app and that kind of thing. But the vast majority of people genuinely couldn't believe we had actually delivered the app when it came out, And so credit to everybody who stuck with us on that journey as well. A lot of the early GoChain supporters came across and found us that way. And
thank you, brother.
Time, we probably had 1,500 people, maybe 2,000 people in our Telegram. And maybe I spoke to 100 of those people every week, and the same people and the same updates and the same kind of thing. But that really gave us time to establish the messaging of NFTs or collectibles, or how we wanted to go down that path. And as you guys know, we specifically went with digital collectibles as opposed to NFT, because nobody had any idea what we were talking about. So for the first few years, I mean, that in itself was quite challenging.
I still don't understand it, Reese. I still don't understand it. No,
don't
I'm
listen.
just kidding.
Don't listen.
I'm just playing around. But Reese, you had mentioned
he's like the little brother.
Yeah, I gotta keep this fun, right? Lighthearted and fun, especially for the viewers. A little bit off topic for those that are currently requesting. We appreciate your patience, and we will bring you guys up once the speakers up here are done speaking and asking questions. But thank you for your patience. Reese, you had mentioned a key word there, GoChain. So I'm gonna get right to it, man. I'm not gonna beat you around the bush. So what was kind of the incentive to actually change? What was your incentive to change the blockchain? Why change it?
From GoChain to Immutable X.
Why change it? Right.
I mean, I can give you my reasons, and I'm sure Dan will add some color to this. GoChain at the time, when we were first building this, was, we used GoChain based on the advice that we received from some people in the industry, and really Ethereum couldn't handle that kind of transaction volume at the time. So GoChain was one of our only options. Now the move back to immutable, I mean, as you guys are aware, if you're in the crypto industry, layer 2s are finally coming online and helping the network to scale. Immutable uses a ZK rollup, which I think is a volition rollup, which allows for gasless trading, gasless minting, instant confirmations, all of these things that genuinely weren't possible 3 or 4 years ago with the given technology. So from that standpoint, I think it's crucial that we move across there. But more fundamentally, I mean, immutable is really our opportunity to open interoperability of the collectibles, being whether you can send them to your own wallets or OpenSea or all of those things. And obvious disclaimer, that will come down to the licensors, and I can't put a timeline on that. But in terms of adoption of the platform, in terms of validation of our NFTs, all of those things, I personally think it's crucial to be on Ethereum. That's where the eyeballs are. I don't know about your opinions on the topic, but as far as I'm concerned, Ethereum has already won the race as the layer 1 scalable blockchain protocol. And I think that layer 2 rollups as a technology are about to completely change the game.
And I believe 100% of that.
I think
100% of that.
We've always tried to stay ahead of these developments and these technologies. And I personally think the move there is one of the best ones we can make.
Thank you.
I think you made the right call, Reese and Dan. You guys absolutely 100% made the right call, because when you have a product and the thing that I think that you guys did really smart was that people might not have been happy about in the beginning was the gem situation and not being able to bring the money out of the app. How are you supposed to go out and get an Alfred Khan when you have money coming in and out and you're not really able to get a good grasp or a forecast as to, can we actually pay this individual that we really need, that we know and feel is going to be able to take this thing to the next level, right? So I think you guys did a perfect job, and this is just a continuation of that exact thing. So kudos to you guys.
But to be clear,
Thank you.
I was going to say, to be clear, Alfred's not hurting. He has a Pokemon card that definitely could pay his land bill.
He's probably got a few.
More than likely.
Oh, I was talking about Alfred helping these guys. I wasn't talking about them helping Alfred. I'm sure Alfred is doing just fine. I don't know I don't want to skip the line or anything. So Andrew, you let me know when if I can get it.
Yeah, Dave, you've been waiting, man. Thanks. You can ask a question.
Okay,
go for it.
Cool. I just have a couple of quick. Some of them are kind of intertwined. And it was after we got off our last AMA, and I think you guys did a great job, obviously. But what I was on a Spaces with, and I don't know if you guys know, Akil, did you tell them what they're doing? They're on like a 6th or 70th hour Twitter Spaces right now. Like, this is how much
I had a
dedicated fan base.
I had to post it up top.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. We might need to do something like one of those challenges, the last person in the room at an hour. Maybe we need to put something up.
But just to be clear, everybody, it's as long as somebody from the community is hosting it. So I am the community here hosting it, but as long as one of us is hosting it, we get to have that little thing.
Yeah, I did it. Like Crypto Khaki handed it off to me, and then at like 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I went until about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then the next shift came in. It's like we're like a well-oiled machine. And
that is incredible. It's so awesome.
It's amazing.
So I want you guys to know that, and I'm not kidding you. Granted, there was a couple like topics that we were talking about that led from VeVe to other things that weren't directly related to VeVe, but 98% of the talk is about VeVe, and that just goes to show like what you guys have done in order to like build real culture, right? Like, to me, that's what the definition of culture is. People that voluntarily come into a space that never really actually talk, but then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this person speaks. And next thing you know, it's like you're learning a million different things from so many different people. So anyways, like I thought that was great. The couple of questions that I had, and if anything, like what I said last night was, I think we need to challenge you guys a little bit more. Not that you need more challenges. I mean, challenges as in the questions.
Yeah, to the question,
in the AMAs,
David.
In the AMAs. I mean, we're asking the same questions over and over is what I'm saying. Meaning when Pokemon, when this, when that, like, and in my opinion, I think that you guys are well equipped to answer a lot of the questions that I thought that at least just my opinion that we should have been asking, right? Like specific feature questions about the app, right?
They hold them back, guys.
And one
they hold them back. I'm telling you right now, they hold them back.
Like bidding on an auction, right? When you bid on an auction, at the end of the day, like there's the potential for somebody to come in right at the last second and essentially just kind of steal that auction from you when you think you won, which I did, and I didn't. So I was really, really sad.
I don't even mess with auctions.
But I think like extending if someone makes a bid in the last second or so, maybe it could be something where it's like extend it for another 10 seconds or something like that, right? Like I just felt like, and that's just one example. I just feel like we as a community.
Sorry, guys. I might just jump in there just quickly in case you missed the detail in the last AMA. I think Dan mentioned that some of those features like auto bidding and things like that would be part of the Pro package, Dan, or was it the Master Collector?
Oh, yeah, the Master Collector Pro. And I will just add that. I mean, number one, David, thank you for all the support.
Here we go.
And number two is that the bidding system absolutely needs to go through a rebuild at the moment. I mean, I think it's one of the sections of the app that we haven't really right now had too much time to focus on. And while it is working to some degree, we will absolutely be refocusing on the functionality around how bidding works. Like, for example, having the option to do, maybe you just want to do a 1 hour auction, or you want to do a 30-minute auction rather than a 3-day auction. And then all the other features that are in, popular auction sites like auto bidding, extended closing time based on activity or volume. So I think the takeaway would be that, really we are, in quotes, painfully aware of, the parts of the app that can be improved. And, they all are absolutely on the roadmap. But I do agree with you, David. I'd be quite happy to jump on AMAs to just talk through features. I mean, for me, that's what I love about VeVe. Basically, my day job is to come up with features and make sure that the features we have are getting improved and moving along. And I love the kind of the two-way part of the community where, we can actually reach out to the community and say, hey, what do you hate about this? What do you love about this? It's a very crowdsourced way to, understand what people want.
I think the managing up aspect where it's like because you guys are so open to hearing us, that is a very big rarity, not in the crypto space, in like the world, right? And the concept of managing up is, if you're quote unquote the CEO and I'm just the salesman, and the salesman has an idea, and the CEO manages to take the time to listen to that idea and say, wow, that's actually not a really bad idea. That makes a difference amongst the community, because think about how empowered that person's going to be. He's going to go start shouting it from the rooftops. Oh my God, Dan and Reese and Trevor and all these guys and David, they implemented, that's my feature. That's my feature. I did that. I suggested that.
An easy way to fix this would be
is so
1 minute left in the auction.
That
it can end 60 seconds, 50 seconds, 40, 30, 25, whatever. I think that's how they should do it.
like this community that much
But
closer
that's
if
me.
it can already. And the one thing I also do want to reassure you of is anyone that is on, and I challenged this to everybody yesterday, anyone that is either on a Twitter space
I agree,
or
Lori.
anything
I
else
do agree.
that is just going on and on about how much this stinks or that's like the veterans of the community are very quick to quell them, but in a very respectful manner, right? To the point where we know where you're coming from. So like, we're going to be your extended arm, essentially.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, just in following that up, Taps, I saw that you actually had a question. Let's make sure we
Sorry
get
about
Taps in there.
Awesome. Thanks, G Media, for hosting this. This is awesome. And yeah, I have a quick congrats and question for Dan and Reese. So the congrats is someone posted in Discord that Ecomi is the #1 grossing entertainment app in Singapore, which is like a new country to see Vivi crushing it. So that was exciting. So I want to say congrats there. And the question is, you know, I'm sure, Dan, you get tired of all the immutable questions, but on the last AMA, you touched on that we're almost done with phase 2. It should be, you know, done hopefully in the next week or so. But how many phases are there, and what is encompassed in phase 3?
Ooh, good question.
So with the mutable migration, there is a 3-phase approach, which I believe Reese has covered quite well in the initial article that we put out for anyone who's more interested at the Ecomi Medium blog. So phase 1 is complete. Phase 2, as I mentioned on the AMA, is the step where we basically remint everything on Immutable. And we ran into some technical issues, which I wish never happened, but always happen 150% of the time, which was that, you know, we found that I think it was going to take something like 3 to 5 days to remint all the collectibles. And because there are ownerships associated with those collectibles, we would not be able to have the market open during that time because we couldn't have any collectibles changing hands while we were doing the reminting. However, we're obviously working closely with the Immutable team. We managed to come up with some solutions to get that down from 5 days to, I believe the developers had told me 3 hours, so I'll pencil into my calendar 6 hours.
Yep.
So really, unfortunately, the phase 2 got held up just purely because of that reason. And I mean, this is just synonymous with any tech company, and that's, you know, for anyone who has been following us for a while, that's why I very rarely promise timelines, because you know, the old adage from way back in the day of shit happens seems to be, well, actually, to be honest, in Vivi we call it the Vivi curveball, which generally seems to happen with every project we do, which Reese can attest to. Yes. So we're coming to the end of all of the basically the unit tests on the optimal reminting process, and as soon as that's completed, which I anticipate will be end of this week, we'll then be able to complete phase 2. And that's got the majority of the backlog out of the way. The last phase, phase 3, is really where we do the token swap, and this is the last step of the process. And for anyone who wants more information about that, again, we cover it off in the Ecomi Medium blog if you want to read through that.
Yeah, I'll just drop that on the Spaces tweet as well in case anybody wants to take a look at
Please.
Yeah, it's worth looking at. We do have a few more instructional articles that will come out when these processes are ready, just to let you know sort of where your tokens are going now that blockchains are.
Sorry, if I'm holding them on an exchange, excuse me, sorry. If I'm holding them on an exchange, do I need to do anything or just hold them there?
No, you can just hold them there. The only difference is that any tokens on the exchange will be converted to layer 1 tokens, which means you can trade them on the exchanges and all of that. But as Vivi is now going to sit on layer 2 to use those tokens within the Vivi app, when those utilities are enabled, you can either bridge through our web wallet. We've built a bridge between layer 1 and layer 2, or send your tokens into the app ahead of time, and they will be automatically converted to layer 2 tokens. Now, the key thing to be aware of there is if you want to then sell those tokens or trade on exchanges, you will have to bridge back to layer 1. That's just how these ecosystems are developing.
So you're recommending to take them off the exchange, basically?
It depends how you want to use your tokens, fundamentally. If you're planning on using all of your tokens in the VeVe app, then moving them to your VeVe app wallet will probably be the best move for you.
Well, I'm just hodling, bro. I'm just hodling.
Yeah, well, then it doesn't matter. You can just leave them there, and we will always have the swap sites.
Stake them. Just stake them.
Thanks. Stake them. Where can I stake them? What kind of yield can I get?
You will be able to stake them in the VeVe app at some point.
Okay. Somebody let me know when I can stake in the app. Get some yield going.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll put out a tweet or something. Reese is always on top of it. Always, man.
Appreciate it.
Have you guys considered maybe somewhat bridging, if you guys can't say it, don't worry, but have you guys, somewhat thought about bridging between, OpenSea and your platform? Has there been any talks or maybe any thoughts even about doing so, or maybe having some NFTs on your platform or whatnot?
Whoa, Forte. This is where the unofficial CEO of OMI, which is me, comes into play here. So once again, Immutable X has already have a partnership with OpenSea, so it's kind of already good.
It is.
I mean, Black, I get it, but always from the horse's mouth is the best thing if they're allowed to.
Well, I'm the horse. I'm the unofficial CEO.
The unofficial horse, which doesn't count in my books.
Wait,
so
yes.
But
is that like my little brother?
Yeah,
my little brother.
I mean, keyword being unofficial, right? That's the key word here.
Dude.
So I mean, I gotta dissect that word. It's unofficial, not really. So,
You know what you want to go
with all due respect, Black, I love you, man.
Bring it.
Real reporting. I like it, Forte. Real reporting.
Got to, man. So I mean, my question still stands, unless you guys want to just kind of say what the unofficial horse said, which is cool with me as well.
Yeah, so obviously as an NFT platform, we understand that our users do want to take their assets off platform. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 1 foot in the real world and 1 foot in the crypto world or the blockchain world. So on the real world side, we're working with, some of the biggest IPs and licenses in the world. And, more often than not, they take a very cautious approach to new assets like this, especially when it involves IP and ownership. That's right in the right in the center of that Venn diagram of their legal teams. So we really kind of categorize our collectibles into two groups. Number one, we've got all of the big brands, right? And my personal belief is that one day everything will be interoperable. But I believe as we, move into this space, one of the benefits that VeVe offers the, fans and licensors is that we can help, take baby steps into this new world, in the sense that, right now our licensors who, may be feeling a little bit unsure about the open blockchain, they can come into a walled garden, which is VeVe, and experiment, see how everything's going. And then as time progresses, and assuming that it's something they want to do, then they can choose to have those assets become interoperable. So that's the first group. The second group is, more of the artist community, like the Ron English, Jermaine Rogers, Frank Kozics. These guys are a lot more open to being interoperable. They want to see their art out everywhere, and so do we. We don't necessarily want to be the gatekeeper of all of the stuff. I mean, basically, we're representing someone else's artwork, so it would actually be a bit rude of us to say, no, you can't go and sell it somewhere else. And we know that that's what the what the community wants as well. So the basic process that's going to take place is, number one, we complete the immutable migration, right? that moves us to layer 2 or Ethereum base, which, as Reese mentioned, or sorry, someone mentioned, is already integrated with OpenSea. And then after that point, we basically need to build the functionality into the app that will allow you to send your NFT to an external wallet. Now, a lot of that, well, actually, I won't say a lot. I'll probably say 50% of that work has been done, because prior to bringing on Immutable, we actually thought that we would just allow users to go straight to an Ethereum ERC-721. And I think this was back when the fees were a lot more reasonable, but then obviously as they've skyrocketed over the past sort of months, that option didn't really seem too feasible, which is why we were looking at other options like layer 2. So my sort of final words on that is that I believe that interoperability is something that is absolutely going to happen in the future. VeVe allows these licensors and artists to take baby steps into the space, and as that grows and progresses, and the industry becomes more open to this new form of digital asset, that's more than likely what we're going to see. However, with the one caveat, which is that within VeVe, it is actually up to the licensor as to whether they want to go interoperable or not. So we can kind of turn that feature on or off. And obviously, VeVe, we're just a simple licensee, so we have to respect the wishes of the people who bring the amazing IP to the platform.
Artists will go first, guys. Artists
Thank you, Dan,
will
for
go
that
first.
official, Akil, official horse's mouth, in-depth analysis, and I appreciate it very much.
Only a friend would talk to me like that. Only a good friend would talk to me like that. That's
Akil,
we love each other.
I'm going to give you redemption, because I heard you say something really awesome today, where you were talking about DesignerCon and how you think, and your opinion on how, you think it would really help, VeVe, the entire VeVe ecosystem. And maybe if you wouldn't mind talking about and sharing that opinion, because I thought that was super insightful. And then maybe we can.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
So guys, you're going to be down at DesignerCon. Number one, can you guys just slide me that VIP pass into my DMs now? Listen, I'm only up in Oregon. I'll fly down. Who cares? I'll make
guys,
it.
Don't worry about it. I'm in Hollywood. I'm right here. Don't worry about it. I'm closer. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'll keep it warm for me. But the way DesignerCon is setting up, it brings in. I mean, can you guys just talk about bringing in a new group into the VeVe family? Because DesignerCon isn't like a Comic-Con. It's not like, it's a different kind of space. And just talk about what your guys are aiming to do at DesignerCon, and especially the fact that you've got some one-offs coming. So I just want to hear about that.
Well, I think the reality is that David has been a fanboy of DCon for probably the past 10 years and has been there every year. And I've been there with him, watching him run around and collect everything he can get his hands on. So, I think there was already a fairly strong, maybe I won't say relationship, but I'll say affiliation with DCon and what they do, which is really these, designer toys. And a lot of the artists that we have already released on the platform, such as Ron English, Frank Kozik, Jermaine Rogers, a lot of these type of artists are already featured at DCon, and a lot of the time it's been DCon has been a platform for a lot of these emerging artists. So because we have such a strong desire to build out that artist category, along with all the big brands that we work with, it really just seemed like an absolute no-brainer to partner with them. And kudos to David for being able to put together a deal and bring this whole thing to fruition. So it will actually be the very first live event that VeVe has taken part in since the beginning of the year. Dave and I are both very upset that we can't get there due to COVID restrictions. But hey, if anyone wants an autograph from Reese, I think you're selling them 10,000 OMI, right, Reese, for
That's
a
correct.
signature?
That is correct. I will sign anything you want.
Is Trevor going to be there?
I believe Trevor is going to be there.
I'm kidding.
I think Trevor is, Team Reese. I'm signing on him. Yeah, we'll all be there. Just quickly in regards to those VIP tickets, I think we are doing a sweepstakes. You guys may have seen the one for Edo running at the moment on VV Twitter. So if you have not and you would like to enter that, maybe go check that out. But I think we're going to run a similar sort of giveaway for those VIP tickets. And then obviously at the event, we'll have a booth. I think we're doing some merch. We'll probably have some iPads and things set up, maybe a little interview station, try and get some content and conversations with our artists. Obviously, anyone from the community. I know Taps is heading down, and OMI homies and anybody else that's out and about. So obviously come and see us. And I think David mentioned that we are taking over the convention center Wi-Fi as well as a bit of a sneaky marketing ploy.
Like the sponsor of the Wi-Fi?
Like, I didn't know that.
Wi-Fi
It's like VV Wi-Fi or something. Cool.
Yeah, if you want to join VeVeVerse, you'll have to join the VV Wi-Fi, and I think the password is something like VV is awesome. or go download VV.
Classic.
So who's buying me dinner that night then?
Well, yeah, we should probably go out somewhere, I think. Make a little
I mean, I'll buy the first bottle of wine, but dinner's on
I'll
you.
pay for dinner if it all goes according to plan and I hear everything I want to hear. Yeah, I'll buy dinner for everybody.
Shit, I'll buy dinner too.
Sounds good to me.
You heard it here on Doxy Media first.
That's it. No, it should be a great event. It's as Dan said, it's our first real life event that we get to attend after the chaos of the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And just
do any of the speakers at this time would like to ask them their questions, except for Dave. Dave likes holding the mic more than I do.
My bad.
I was super fascinated about the IP rights and bridging the gap between blockchain and the legal world over here. I was wondering which jurisdictions you guys are operating in more specifically.
I mean, we don't necessarily operate in specific jurisdictions. I mean, VeVe is a worldwide app, but as a business, we need to focus on the jurisdictions that our business operates in. So, I wouldn't really say that's sort of more the too much of a concern. It's just more that VeVe is now getting a lot of attention. And, we know that the space is very, very new, and it's more than likely that we are going to see, new forms of regulation pop up. And, we're always just trying to be ahead of the game in that area.
Got it. Thanks a lot. That's helpful. And I wanted to understand, does owning the OMI tokens give us a claim to the IP rights, or how does that work?
Absolutely not. I mean, in the same way that if you went to buy let's just say a Transformer toy, and that's no confirmation, by the way.
Oh, he just said Transformers.
You own that toy, you own that physical toy, but if you were to then replicate that toy and use the IP, that would be 100% illegal. So the comparison of what happens in the physical world and in the digital world is basically identical.
You get a DMCA.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to get a handle on the tokenomics, the supply and demand. So, and what does the token, represent as a holder? Is it just the currency?
Yeah, you absolutely don't get to own any part of any of our licensors' IP.
So yeah, when it comes to the actual tokenomics, though, just in case you haven't seen them, and for anybody else that wants to take a look, they are on the Ecomi blog. I think it's probably just called Token Info or something like that. The entire VeVe ecosystem is underpinned by the OMI token. Obviously, we use gems in the app as the forward-facing currency. for the same reason that, that is really, I think, what has helped us to reach that point of adoption, just really simplifying that. But in the background, any transaction that is taking place, if you're buying something from a store or something like that, there is an OMI token flow. So there's an in-app reserve of tokens. As you, when you essentially swap those gems for that collectible, because it's all on blockchain, there has to be a token interaction there, which is swapped for the NFT. So fundamentally, all transactions are underpinned by the token, which is progressively becoming more scarce as the NFTs are sold, right? Because each time a collectible is purchased, that dollar amount of tokens is burnt, so completely removed from circulation.
Oh.
So you have this depleting in-app reserve, and to replenish that reserve, we have the system of buybacks, as Dan mentioned earlier. So, we need to keep topping that up so that the system keeps running, essentially. And those top-ups come from buying back the OMI token from exchanges or from the market. So that's one side. And then the next implementations are the new utilities for the token within the VEVE app. So as we mentioned earlier, there's a drop lottery. So you might be able to bid your OMI tokens for to secure one of the collectibles, and then those tokens would be burnt, for you to purchase that. So yeah, the whole system is underpinned by the token, and then there's new utilities coming that will continue to reduce that supply from the circulating supply as well.
Wonderful. Okay, thanks. That's fantastic. I apologize for the new questions. Actually, I wondered. I'm an investor, and I wandered into one of your spaces with your guys, and they were really wonderful. So I got myself a bag, and looking forward to learning more.
Go get a bigger bag. Go buy more.
Not financial advice for the 10th time tonight.
And then I saw David over here, and if he's even listening, what's up, David?
So I have a quick question about what happens to the gems, because as you guys obviously know, because you obviously needed to keep the money into the system, therefore the gems and no on or off ramp, fiat on and off ramp. So there's obviously, I'm sure you're aware of it, the Telegram groups where people are selling gems, and if they made 10 or 20x on a collectible, right? Like they don't mind selling for 10 or 20% less, right? So my curiosity is, what is stopping me from going into these telegrams and buying literally at a 0.7 rate, like 100,000 gems, spending $70,000? And what happens to those gems? Because I've heard different opinions, and I just kind of want to hear it from you guys. Do those gems then transfer over to a $1 equivalent of where the current OMI price is?
That sounds like a good arbitrage.
A gem is basically worth $1 regardless. I mean, it's not a stable coin. It's an in-app currency. So obviously we are, pretty aware that users are trading gems outside of the platform. And, for the time being, we're kind of okay with it, because with the restrictions that we have on both of the app stores, if you want to come in and buy some form of secret rare collectible that costs you 10 grand, you're going to have to do multiple in-app payments to top your wallet up to get that. So we understand that there is, the flow in at the moment is somewhat limited. However, once the web platform comes out, those restrictions will basically be whatever the limit of your credit card is, and by the way, I'm not saying max out your credit card in any way, but there's going to be a lot easier ways to bring gems into the system at higher quantities, which is something that is fairly important for us as a business, because there are people trading these collectibles at quite high values. Now, once that is in place, there are a lot of detrimental sides to the ability for people to transfer gems around. And an example is that, every week we get multiple tickets of saying that hey, I met some random guy on Telegram and he promised me these gems, so I sent him 100 grand, and then he didn't send me the gems. And it is just an unfortunate side of the, of the business that happens. So, really, as the business evolves and we have these better on-ramps and then ultimately better off-ramps, it is more than likely that we are going to close up the ability to transfer gems around. So, I guess sell all the gems you can now, because it may not last forever.
Yeah,
would that compromise the decentralization of the system?
I got to run to the bathroom. Be right back.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I don't think.
Meaning, if you're closing down the secondary market.
I'm not closing down the secondary market. I'm just saying that there are a number of issues around having the ability to transfer gems around to other users. And people and the other side of that is that we need to make sure that people have an off ramp, right? So this whole thing comes in with a better on ramp where you can buy up to X amount of gems, and then if you make a profit or you want to take those gems out of the platform, then the off ramp will be there. So once these sort of systems are in place, it's going to be much better for users in terms of the ability to get gems into the system and then take gems out. So it's not compromising the secondary market in any way, in my opinion.
So
hey guys, it's Jeremy. I'm just gonna jump in real quick because I'm gonna have to duck out. I just wanted to say one last thing to the community here, which is, I having been a manufacturer for decades and been in the game of licensing for so long, one of the biggest jokes in manufacturing is that companies are generally not known. Manufacturers are generally not known. The brands, if you're doing your job right, you're putting your brands first and forward. The interesting thing about VeVe is that they're one of the very few times ever where a community has been formed around a company that primarily focuses on other people's IP. And they've done that with pure heart and soul and community management and trust. It's a very, very difficult thing to pull off. And I think that I've never really ever seen anything like this before to this level. So I just wanted to congratulate you guys. And obviously, when I'm saying to the community, I'm talking directly to you. I mean, this community is going to be as much of a reason for the success of OMI and VeVe as anybody that's within that organization. And so while I think that team, whether it be anyone that's on stage today or David, while they're getting punched, I think that this community has also gone through it as well. I think we all feel like entrepreneurs on the same mission, in that we're early. And so I just like to say it's very unusual. It's an amazing thing what's been established here. This vibe is incredible. And I'm truly thrilled to be part of it. And thank you for putting me up on stage this evening.
Jeremy, will you adopt
thank
me?
you for those. Come on, man. Now he's being a fanboy. Black, cut that out, man. Off stage.
What? I'm just
cut that out.
Okay, we're gonna do lunch anyway. Jeremy and I will do lunch.
Jeremy, I will say on behalf of my friend Akil Patterson, who is a fanboy of yours, thank you for coming today, man. We appreciate you on the stage and all your wonderful insight.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for all the converse, man.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Probably next week.
Bye, Dan. Bye, guys.
See you, mate.
See you in November.
Guys, with that being said, I would like to turn, it's been an hour and a half. I'd like to turn, the mic to the community, if that's cool with you guys up here.
I'm actually going to drop down. I'm going to drop down now.
Yeah, me too. Thanks a lot for having me, guys. That was awesome.
No worries.
No worries, guys. Thanks for coming.
That is Jeremy. Yes,
I'll
sir.
bring up a few guys up now from the community. Thanks for your patience. It's appreciated.
Nice. And just while you're doing that, Dan, do you want to maybe just update people on the MTL status? You were kind of
get out, Turbo.
Have we had any progressions there?
Yeah. Right now we are just going through the final testing stage. So anyone who has been part of the previous AMAs will know that the last step was basically integrating with the banking partner. And the reason this has taken quite a long time is that, we basically have a worldwide audience. So we need payment methodologies that can effectively pay into the majority of bank accounts around the world. So now that we are through the banking partner integration, when I spoke to the developer the other day, we've got about another 1 week of testing. So I'm feeling quite positive that the first round of people will be brought in around the end of October. And just for those people who don't know, we're not going to open the system up to basically every user because there's too many, and we need to make sure that we run it through the first 10, the first 50, the first 100 users. Everything goes well, and then after that, we'll basically open it up to everyone.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you. Crypto
There
Loser,
you
what's
go.
going on, man?
A week or two.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
I know, Lori, but he said it.
Thank you
A
for
week
your
or two.
patience.
I just wanted to ask a question about the security of the app. Is there because I'm kind of new to the app, but I'm trying to find a way to make my account more secure. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I guess in terms of the security, if you've got any issues, I would make sure that you log out every time. We've built in a number of different security measures around like 2FA on anything that requires or interfaces with anything of value, including your login as well. So right now we've had a very successful track record over the past sort of 6 months or so with the security measures. And then the other thing I'll say to that is that, with these large licensors that we work with, they don't just knock on the door and say, hello, would like to be on your app. They say, hello, we want a full audit of your security. We want a full audit of your server setup. So you can be rest assured that other people before you have already requested, significant levels of security auditing. So, VeVe as a company, we hold a lot of value, whether that's in collectibles or in OMI or within the gems that people have in their wallet. So security is a huge part of the platform.
thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, Crypto, I'm going to throw you off the cliff. I'm going to give you a parachute. I will bring the next speaker up. Thank you for your question.
Hello.
What's up, Jason?
Here we go.
Jason, you there?
Looks like you're on mute there, Jason.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, I just want to thank you guys. I think the app is amazing. I've got a nice big bag of OMI, hoping for the long-term success here. I think Taps Trade asked a really great question at the last AMA about scaling, and I wanted to see if you might be able to elaborate a little bit further on that, especially with companies like Facebook talking about rebranding and bringing themselves into the metaverse. Kind of where you see your guys placed among some of these larger companies and how you'll kind of approach, some of these multi-billion-dollar corporations trying to enter this space at the same time that you are. Thank you.
Great question. And yeah, shout out to Taps. I watch all your videos, so thank you for your contribution. Now, I guess the answer is that we will happily open negotiations to allow these big billion-dollar companies to come into the VeVeVerse.
Why wouldn't we?
I actually really appreciate that answer.
Yeah, no, I think like I mentioned earlier, I think we're about to see an explosion of metaverses. And I don't believe that competition is necessarily bad. It ultimately will rise the tide of, all metaverses. And, I really I think I read somewhere that somebody coined it as, the next version of the internet will basically be these metaverses. And the cool thing about them is that, each metaverse will have their own special niche. Like I mentioned earlier, we're very much about collectibles and, all of the social engagement around that. Whereas Facebook has, their own thing, and other companies will more than likely have their own thing. So I really believe that, we're going to see a future where a multitude of metaverses exist successfully together. And hopefully one day, we will see interoperability across all of those platforms. I haven't been shy about saying in previous AMAs that my goal is Ready Player One, because I think that would just be awesome. And that's really, where we're kind of heading with our content.
Somebody
awesome.
Actually,
well, thank you.
Somebody actually referred to that today. They were like, do you think Dan and David and Reese and everybody are going to actually limit the time in the Oasis? And we were like, what? The Oasis?
We might have to.
We have been talking about opening some sort of VV addiction center, which I think is something that's going to have to happen at some point in the future.
Every collectible comes with like a little disclaimer on the bottom, like a pack of cigarettes.
That's it.
This collectible is addictive.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks, Jason, for your question. I'm bringing you up Andre now.
Awesome, thank you. I first time actually getting a chance to talk, and really excited with all the members and the people listening. And I'm from Canada, but I just wanted to ask two small questions. One being a feature. Is there a trading feature that I don't have to use my gems? Say I have a toucan and I want to trade it for something else. Is there a feature or something like that that can be incorporated? And also my second question is there a charity function that could be incorporated?
Two great questions. Thank you, Andre. So yes, there absolutely is a trading feature on the roadmap as part of the market overhaul, which will include things like auctions and the ability to do trades, as you say. I'll swap one Steve Pugh for, I don't know, I can't think of something. I was going to say one Golden Moogly, but that doesn't seem right.
One David Uhelon.
Yeah, one day. Well, I don't know. That might be worth more. So yes, we absolutely will be building in additional features like the ability to trade, the ability to do things like a direct sale. So rather than having to post something in the market, I could basically do a direct trade with Reese, or I could do a direct trade with you. So yeah. Please rest assured that we have a lot of features planned for the market. But unfortunately, VeVe is like 5 apps in one, so we've got quite a bit going on with the other sections. But ultimately, over time, you can absolutely expect to see those features. And sorry, what was your second question?
My second question was, is there like a charity feature? If we want to, like, say, give back to the community, is there like a group function that we can incorporate?
Great question.
Yeah, that is a very cool idea, and something that I've thought about quite a bit. For those of you who don't know, VeVe has already participated in charity drops. We did the Givenchy Pride poster, where basically all of the profits went directly to the LGB community. And we plan on doing that more in the future. I think we have such an active community, and there's a lot of passion in the community, and I really think that people will be willing to support different charities, and obviously that'll happen from our side when we do specific drops, and we contribute certain amounts to charity. But I do like the idea of our users being able to contribute to a charity as well. So let me have to think about that one.
Yeah, if you want to contribute, the screen name is black_excellence. Just drop them all right there. I will keep them warm for you. Keep them all warm.
I was waiting for that.
I mean, I would think MGM and Marvel, they can afford a little donation here and there. So maybe instead of 6.5% on Marvel, they do 6.25%, and the rest goes to planting a billion trees around the world.
hey, Dan, guys, I do want to tell you guys a story because it happened on a plane just recently when I was coming back from Baltimore. That's my home state in Baltimore, Maryland. And I was on a plane and I was sitting next to two grandmothers, both of them in their 60s or 70s. One was 68, one was 74. And I told them, that I was into crypto, and I told them about OMI coin, and I've onboarded them onto the VEVE app. And one of the grandmothers pulled out this picture of her grandson who recently passed away from cancer. He was 5 years old, and he had this Spider-Man on. And I showed her the app, and it brought tears to her eyes. And she said, "How great would it be if we could get young people who have cancer, just let them have this app while they're in the hospital or something like that." And I, it kind of brought tears to my eyes, but at the same time, I think that's something low barrier that we could maybe find a great idea. Bless a family with that are going through cancer treatments, and because the app is where all of our young people are living today, and just finding a way to get that into those hospitals would be really awesome. I just wanted to share that with you guys.
So. Yeah, no, I love the idea, and I think our community is very giving and is very nice, and I think that there will be people out there who will be like, you know what, I'm just going to throw my Steve Pugh into charity. So let me keep that one on the backlog, and hopefully 2022 we can look at something like that.
Well, reach out, man. I'm happy to lend support to causes like that. I think us at G Media and our support, like we don't financially want to do it, but I mean because we can't, but we'd find a way to make sure that we help partner with the right folks.
I would assist as well, even if G Media would, even if we couldn't with the funds, I would help any way I can if you guys were to do something like that.
Yeah, thank you again for taking my questions, and again, keep me in mind if you need more suggestions in that department.
Thanks, Andre. Where are you from, Canada, man? I'm from Toronto.
I'm just near Brantford.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're like half an hour away from each other. Thanks for your question, man. Appreciate you. Vivi, what's going on, man?
Is that Vivi OMI Mahami? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Oh, well, I tell
You're good, man. You're good.
Thank you. I appreciate being able to talk. I just wanted to bring, I saw this tweet that was an idea for a drop, and I say this with complete humbleness. I understand that I couldn't do what Vivi is doing if I lived to be 1,000, so it's all humble. But just an idea that I really dug was that this person, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but they suggested maybe when a drop happens, if there was like a window of a few seconds where everyone could click in, and then the collectibles will be sent out randomly. And I think when I read that, I wasn't coming from a point of it's solutions that it could solve. It was more the participation element, because during that week where it was nonstop comics and NFTs, I kind of bombarded with an error message, and my experience of the NFT started to shift from the NFTs to an error message. And I think having been here since Ultraman drop days, like I get that error message is saving me a lot of headaches from back then. So, and I get the fact that my investment is increasing. So I know it's just going to get worse, but at the same time, I get all the blessings. But I just want to put that angle in there of that participation feeling. I just really dug the tweet, the fact that and it kept the hype of the drop participation. And like an element of participation. I just want to hear your thoughts on something like that. And thank you so much. Something like that. And thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. And yeah, I know the error message you're talking about, which is the one that I see all the time, which is unable to place reservation because everything's already sold out in milliseconds. So I can totally feel you on that one. Now, right now, one of the things that people love, well, I guess love and hate about VeVe is the drop model. you know, it really builds a lot of excitement, of anticipation, and that's something that we want to make sure that always remains, you know, within our drops. So it's more than likely that at some point in the future we will need to move to a more of a waiting room type system. I mean, you know, right now, even the Edo drop that we had last week, there was only less than 2,000 editions of Edo available, but we had like 50,000 people in the app trying to get that particular collectible. Right now, it really is, you know, still pretty much luck of the draw. As in, if you manage to hit that buy now button at the right time, and you manage to get it. But in the future, we possibly will need to pivot to a waiting room as we have more and more users come in, and that will be something along the lines of randomization. You know, if for everyone who's in the waiting room, you know, 5 minutes before, we'll then choose X number of people based on the available editions, and move to that kind of model. Now, that may not be all drops. It might just be specific drops. But I do understand that, yeah, when people see that message, it isn't the best. No one likes to lose out on a drop. And maybe we need to update that message to be like, have a good day, or something like that. But I do absolutely appreciate where you're coming from, and thank you for the feedback.
Just on that,
thank you much.
Yep. I am going to go through all that in-app messaging. So I may reach out to some of you for some feedback in the next week. So I may reach out to some of you for some feedback in the next week or two on that as well.
Like the top shop model.
So are you guys saying like kind of like
thank you so much.
Model?
Thanks. Thank you, Vivi. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
There
you.
will be. I was just going to say, yeah, there will be certain scenarios where we will look at something like a top shop model, but you know, there is also the excitement and exhilaration of the blind box. You know, we have floated the idea out to the community a few times to have, you know, this kind of top shot or waiting room type system, and to be honest, it really has been mixed feedback, and that's why we have not moved to that system yet. But you know, we'll see what the future holds.
Gotcha. Thank you.
What's up, man? Poor man.
Oh, I'm good. I'm sorry, buddy. There's double feedback going on here. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
You should figure out your mic works. That's fine. Tap, what's up, brother? What's going on?
What's up, Dan?
I don't want to jump line on poor man. Go ahead, man.
You ain't saying much, but what's up, buddy?
His mic's not working. He's got to figure out.
Oh, I'm good. I'm sorry, buddy. There's double feedback going on.
Oh, there you go.
Here.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Chickens and bees.
And you don't have to answer.
Sorry about that. What's up, Dan? Taps, you still up there? You ain't saying much, but what's up, buddy?
So the future.
How you going, poor man?
Hey, Reese, what's going on? So I do have a question, and you don't have to answer it. I understand. But
could we possibly see?
How do I put this?
In the future, you know what I mean?
So the future of VeVe, as far as gamification, could we possibly see? We know Immutable Eggs has Gods on Chain card game. Could we possibly see some kind of card game on VeVe in the future? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I guess we just need to see how how the platform plays out. Obviously, some form of card game is a little bit of a digression from, you know, the core model of the business, which is basically selling collectibles. We'll be moving into some form of card game. But in saying that, you know, I do really believe that gamification will be a very solid addition to probably more like the VeVeVerse. So while we'll start off with very light gamification,
beautiful answer, buddy.
it is a possibility that we will look to expand that further into the future. And it also just depends on what feedback we get from the community when we roll out the VeVeVerse. But yeah, I appreciate your thoughts.
Dan, that is a beautiful answer, buddy.
Man, what are you drinking for?
Well, I've become very diplomatic after all the AMAs now.
Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all can kick me out of here now because I've been doing a little drinking. I don't know how to get back now.
It's a great drink. It's a great drink. I like Woodford too, though.
Man, what are you drinking first? What's your drink of choice before I kick you off the stage?
Oh, tonight it's going to be Buffalo Trace, buddy.
Prior to? I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Taps likes it.
Yes, sir.
Taps likes it.
That's a great drink. It's a great drink. I like Woodford too, though.
Taps got a question before. Taps got a question.
There you go, guys. I asked the question.
I did.
Everybody's
I
scared to
two
answer.
quick questions and
Or
solid
asked.
question.
I
I
asked
think I
it.
know where you're going with that. So yeah, my question actually, the first one's tied.
Let's
to,
go.
Immutable X, and we're finally making that jump over. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of the other projects on Immutable, I think what's growing really fast is a lot of them are partnering with other NFT projects in some capacity, and also partnering with each other, whether it's like Guild of Guardians or Illuvium or Animoca Brands. So my question is, once you guys do make that jump, obviously VeVe is a juggernaut, and you guys are crushing it and have so much content that can't get it out fast enough. So are you guys planning on partnering with other projects either on Immutable or others in the NFT space, in the next couple months, year or so?
I can't say that we have anything in the immediate future. Obviously, we are, heads down, just trying to do what we do now, which I think, as I've elaborated on, is basically 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. But in the future, it could absolutely be a possibility. We're looking to do a lot of cool collabs with, various artists and brands. And if there was an opportunity in the NFT space, potentially with some other companies out there, I'm not going to say that we're close to it, for sure.
Awesome. So just wrote down confirmed. Second question is, obviously the VeVeVerse is something we're all excited for, and you guys have shared like that's coming in 2022 in different phases as well. But my question is, like, every NFT project is shilling some kind of metaverse, right? Like they almost have to at this point to stay relevant. But VeVe obviously is building something great. Comparing it to, the actual mainstream metaverses like Roblox and like Minecraft and Fortnite and all that, how would you say the VeVeVerse, with all you've been doing and building up to it, is going to stack up, not just against the crypto metaverses, but also like the mainstream metaverses?
You always ask the great questions, Tab. I think that, like I said before, I really believe that we are going to see a multitude of metaverses, and each of those metaverses is going to offer an experience. And if that experience aligns with, the interest of the user, then they will gravitate towards that metaverse. And I would say that it's likely that, we will see people, in the VeVeVerse, and more than likely in other metaverses as well. But, from my perspective, while metaverse is a huge buzzword right now, we started fleshing out the VeVeVerse back in 2020, when no one was really even talking about it. So my perspective on it is that each metaverse really just comes down to experience. And if you can build something that people enjoy and that they want to be a part of and they want to participate in, then that is the ultimate success. And will they be part of other metaverses or join other metaverses? More than likely, that's really how I think this industry is going to play out. So, my job really is just to make sure that we create something that is exciting and interesting in the same way that the VeVe app is. And of course, I'm sure we're going to get a ton of, amazing feedback from the community as to, how we can improve it. And really, that's our goal, really, just very simple.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Taps. So, guys, it's been almost 2 hours. I'm going to let 2 more people up, and then we got to let Dan and the team go. They've been very generous with the questions they've been answering, and the fact they've spent 2 hours with, G Media and our team here. So thank you guys for that, as well as the people that have been listening for 2 hours that are still here. All about 800 of you guys. We appreciate you guys as well. But 2 more people, then we got to have a cutoff point, unfortunately, for you guys. But I'm sure, we can probably set up one in the future. Maybe get some more of you guys up here asking questions. And I know the OMI team does AMAs throughout the week. Yes, guys?
We do indeed. I mean, we're always kind of contactable, but we do run a bi-weekly AMA in our Twitter spaces and try to cover off all of the biggest topics, in the first sort of half an hour or so. So if anybody ever wants to tune into those or catch a restream on Cavell's channel or Kyle's or Kay's or Taps or whoever else is doing them, they're always available there.
There you go. I'll bring up D Nita, I believe your name is.
Guys, we got Pokemon card game. I'm just telling you right now, we got it.
What's up, D?
Can't quite hear you there, D.
You hear Dan's answer?
Hey guys.
D?
Oh, there we go.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing?
Good yourself?
Oh yeah.
Good, thank you. Hey Dan, hey Reese, hey everyone. I just had a quick question. About, because the charity drops were mentioned, and so this I kind of had like a question about it. I don't know if this has been touched on already, so I do apologize if it's a repeat question. But so for the donations, I know the Medium article for the Pride specifically, it states that proceeds from the sale, goes to the French Association. So my my question was, are the are the donations only strictly from like the drop sales, or is it for all transactions? And then is that different for every future drop, I guess?
Yes, you are correct. The charity proceeds were from the primary sale, as in the assets that VeVe sold. It might be a little bit of a stretch, and I don't think the community would be too happy if we added a few extra percent into the secondary market sales for in perpetuity forever. But even in the primary sale, I believe, and I'd have to check this with Dave, but I believe it was well over $200,000 that was donated, which is amazing from a drop that kind of sold out within 20-30 minutes. An organization has managed to raise that amount of money. So I would say moving forward that if there were to be any other charity drops, it would be primarily from the primary market, because really it's us at VeVe who are willing to contribute our revenue to those organizations.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. And, congrats on everything, on all the success and the future success. Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you to you as well.
Thank you.
We will bring up one more speaker. Just one more, then the gentlemen have to go, unfortunately. Let me see here.
Just one more speaker, according to Andrew Forte.
Black, unless you want to bring up one more, but I mean now we're on your time, and no longer theirs. Let me see one.
Well, absolutely. I'm very selfish like that. I'm a football coach, and I'm a lobbyist, and my collector, and my partner. Hey guys, before we bring anybody else, this is the one time in my life where my partner is not yelling at me about having a bunch of shit in the house. Says your collection is now managed.
That is one advantage of VeVe. It is very clandestine.
Yeah, I think even Kozik was saying that a little while ago in one of our clubhouses, just talking about how, in the normal collectibles world, you'd have a basement full of comics and collectibles, and it has to be a temperature-controlled room, and if you need to move house, it's an absolute nightmare. Whereas, with VeVe, you've got it in your pocket. So it's a very easy selling point for collectors, I think.
And they don't tarry anyways. That they don't tarry as well, which is definitely they don't tarry. So that PSA is always a 10.
Exactly. Always.
What's up, Chom? I brought you because your picture is dope.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's Jumbo actually. Thank you for having me. And well, thanks for answering all the questions. It's really interesting listening to everything. And basically, my question, it goes in two parts. It's regarding the auction aspect of the app.
Come on.
The first one would be if I know it was mentioned in an AMA before about having a penalty for people who doesn't pay. I was just wondering if we have, I don't want to ask a when question precisely, but is it in the near future? Because it gets frustrating when people don't pay first. And the second question, it's regarding the auctions with the comics. It's kind of difficult to have a follow-up on which ones are about to finish and try to bid. I know some people don't like bidding at the last second, or bidders at the last second, but I think it could be easier for sniping, if we can say it like that, if we have them all in the same spot, just like the other collectibles. So these would be my questions.
Yeah, thank you. We do have a fairly big update coming to the market comic section. That's going to be going through testing this week, and we're aiming to have it rolled out at the end of next week. Sorry, at the beginning of next week. I know that the comic part of the app right now is a little bit frustrating. And as I mentioned earlier, along with the auctions, we're looking to do a fairly big upgrade of that whole solution. And sorry, what was the first part of your question?
The first one was regarding the penalty when somebody doesn't pay their auction.
Yeah, so that is actually in place already. If a user does not pay for an auction, then they basically get banned from the market for a period of 72 hours. Now, the auction payment, the users not paying is something fairly native to the mobile app, right? In the sense that we can't necessarily, like if you win an auction, we can't automatically ping your credit card. However, once the web platform comes out, then we will be looking at various options around that. However, I will say that once we did introduce the market penalties, and I'm sorry that you have still had a bad experience with it. There are unfortunately still some, bad actors out there. But we are, looking for solutions in the web platform that's going to make it considerably more easy.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chom. Guys, at this time, unfortunately, we'll be wrapping things up.
Yeah, we got to wrap things up for Tay. But before we go, guys, can you give G Media an exclusive right now? Is there anything you can give us that you haven't given anyone else yet? Can you give us anything? Anything, guys?
Talk to me, baby.
Reese?
Don't put this on me.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Reese. Talk to me, Reese.
I was thinking.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. All I will say at this point, obviously, everybody knows DesignerCon is coming up. We have announced 3 artists so far, I think. Dan, I don't know if you know off the top of your head what else we're doing there, or if you want to give a ballpark figure, but there will be more artists.
I know everything, Reese. So
I'm just giving you an out.
Oh, thank you. So what I'll say is that we do absolutely have some very exciting announcements coming up within the next let's say 2 to 3 weeks. And I will also say that this weekend's drop, I think Alex has put out his classic little teaser clue on Twitter. It's always very interesting reading through the results. And I will tell you that some people have actually got it right. So feel free to troll through and work out what what you think it is. But I mean, there's not really too much else I can say. Unfortunately, we are under very strict NDA for a lot of the stuff coming up. So, and also, we love to hype you guys, so we're not going to release it too early.
All right, I'll accept
Loki.
it.
Hell yeah!
But guys, I just want to say, as a fanboy, I appreciate you, and as a human, I appreciate you even more. And as I always say to all of our friends and our guests when I'm on, you have a great day and an even better tomorrow.
On behalf of G Media, myself, Akil, aka the fanboy, aka the unofficial horse's mouth, Dom, Akeem, Dave, Reese, Taps, Dan, everybody up here, the speakers, the listeners, everyone that helped us together. We appreciate all you guys. I want to say a special shout out for Taps for setting me up with a team. I appreciate you, man. We've been trying to set up for this a couple months now. Appreciate you, bro. Guys, on that note, I'm your co-host, rather, Andrew Forte, once again sponsored by G Media. Thank you, guys. Everyone have a great day. Great rest of the night.
Thank you, Andrew. And just before everyone disappears, we will happily second all of those things. Thank you to yourself and Taps for organizing this. G Media, thanks for putting this on, and David Gottstein for the constant community support. Actually, that's it's been really fundamental to our community.
All right, Laurie, we'll catch you later.
So, big thanks to everybody for
looks like that's about it.
And organize this, and I look forward to doing it again.
Next up, Fox News.
Yeah.
To get them on Fox News, baby. Throw VV mention in there, baby. Let's go.
Y'all have a great night.
Oh, copyright.
Thank you,
I
Ron.
gotta go, guys. So, there you go. I said my piece. Do you think we'll see any kind of card games in the future, kind of like Gods Unchained with Immutable X? And y'all heard the answer. I don't know what's to come. Leave comments down below. What do you think this drop's going to be? You think it's a swap thing? Do you think it's some Jurassic Park? I really don't know. I don't know. Vivi throws out all kind of secrets, so it is what it is. But there you go. It's the AMA, Ecomi AMA. Not a whole lot going on there, but you know, any information is better than none, right? So yeah. I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Poor man. Hold on. I got it all messed up right now. Here we go. Poor man printing out.